Hey YouTubers, out in the shop today, just wanted to show you a quick little thing I made for my Dillon 650. As you know, the Dillon shell plate area can be dark when you're loading. I got to looking around for a light because my old eyes can't see into the case that well. Even though I have a powder check dye, I like to see the powder. It's just an old habit I've had, having reloaded for a long time. In any case, I wanted to see if I could put together a light assembly, something that fit inside the tool head for less than the 40 bucks that I'm seeing in retail for a lot of these different lights for the Dillon. And by the time you add shipping and tax and everything, you're upwards of 45, 50 bucks anyway. So I got to looking and came up with a couple of different things, and one of the ones that I came up with was this little LED light assembly here. Fits nicely inside a little PVC tube, which I use as a bushing to fit inside the tool head, and I'll go into that more in a minute. But this is a supplemental backup light for a car. They're made to go either in the bumper or down near the license plate, just to provide more light at night for the backup cameras and that kind of thing. The other thing that I needed to get was a way to connect it to the power supply. So I got these little 12 volt or DC connectors rather. These are 2.2 by 5.5 by 10 millimeter. I believe that's the dimensions. I'd have to look. I'll put it in the comments below. But in any case, I found these. Way to connect it, I just soldered it, put a little bit of heat shrink tubing on it, and wrapped it with electrical tape to give it some rigidity. And then finally we needed a power supply. This particular one is 12 volts, 3 amps, and it's 3 amps will power a lot of these little lights. I think the rating on these is about a 1/4 amp, maybe a 1/2 amp, so you can probably put 5 or 6 of these together on it. But it works pretty good. As far as the bushing goes, the nice thing about this one is that the light slips right into, or the nut rather, on the light slips right into the inside diameter of the pipe snugly. As you can see, it goes right down in there, and then you can actually twist the nut tight. My first plan was, if it didn't fit snugly, I was going to fill this up with either silicone or epoxy just to hold it in place, but it turns out I don't need to do that. This notch right here I cut out on my disc sander. Just took and ground it off a little bit and then cleaned it up with a file. It fits nicely right down inside there. If I can see what I'm doing here. So it slides right into the tool head assembly itself, and then you can take the wire and run it up onto the arm, what have you. Now the other thing I have coming, it's just not here yet, is a little switch. It's an inline switch that goes between the pigtail and the power supply, so I can flip it on and off and go from there. It lights up pretty good. You can see it does a good job in providing some extra light into the tool head. I'm into this thing for less than half of what the skylights and the other ones they're charging for those. I think I have about $24 in parts. The only downside is that the pigtails come in a package of 10, and the lights actually come in a package of 2. So you'll have a few parts left over, or if you want to add an extra light somewhere on your reloader, you can certainly do that, but you'll have extra pigtails as well. So this works well. This solved a problem for me at about half the cost. I just thought I'd share it with you guys. Have a good day.